Only Mitt Romney and Ron Paul are organized for a truly national campaign. And Republicans are being urged to treat the libertarian dark horse very carefully by none other than their former vice presidential standard bearer, Sara Palin. Take a listen.
And then, of course, you have Ron Paul. And the GOP had better not marginalize Ron Paul and his supporters after this, because Ron Paul and his supporters understand that a lot of Americans are war weary and we are broke. And he has reached these constituencies who are very concerned about the solvency of the U.S., and he has proposed solutions with his austerity measures that he'd like to see implemented. So the GOP had better listen to what these Ron Paul supporters are saying, better work with them.
Better work with them. Welcome back to Democratic pollster and good friend and Fox News contributor Doug Schoen. Doug, Happy New Year. Welcome.
Same to you, Judge.
What did you think of what Governor Palin just said about her view of what ought to be the relationship between the establishment wing of the Republican Party and Congressman Paul and his supporters?
Well, two things, Judge. I think she's absolutely right. And the second point is actually more important. The data from last night bears it out.
What do you mean?
Paul got the votes of those who wanted someone with true conservative principles. You'd expect that. But he also won independents, he also won liberal Republicans, and he won young people. Put another way, the people he brought into the process were overwhelmingly supporters of his libertarian policies and politics. That's what the Republicans need. That's why they need Ron Paul.
Might he be able to bring in young people to a Paul, fill in the blank, national ticket in a way that Barack Obama brought in young people to the Obama-Biden ticket, and even when Barack Obama was running against Hillary Clinton 4 years ago?
Well, that was my point. Yes, absolutely. The Paul candidacy gives hope and a different vision, a radically different vision to young people, but it's not a vision that Mitt Romney is offering to Republicans.
Why do you think Republicans... Let me change this.
Sure.
Mitt Romney can't seem to get more than 25% in any poll, whether it's an Iowa caucus or it's a national poll, the same polls that you and we all look at. Why do you think Republicans are so desperate for an alternative to Mitt?
Because he appeals to suburban, traditionally establishment, conservative, older Republicans. That's it. That's his base. That's his constituency. That's his appeal.
How do you explain Rick Santorum coming out of nowhere, almost like a flash in the pan, and virtually tying, almost literally tying 8 votes out of 120,000 cast Mitt Romney?
Judge, you summarized the 3 constituencies in the Republican Party very well when you began the program. Bottom line, what all of them are looking for is leadership, hope, and something new and different. And that's what Santorum, to a lesser extent, and Ron Paul, to a greater extent, offer.
If you were to accept my argument that Mitt Romney basically agrees with Barack Obama on the concept of government micromanaging the economy and big muscular government overseas, and if you accept the extrapolation that there's really very little difference in them other than their personal values and attitudes, could you argue to Republicans, what is the sense of changing Barack Obama for somebody whose views are almost the same on almost every issue?
Well, the way I would put it is the Republican electorate is looking for new ideas, a new approach. And in Mitt Romney, they don't see anything that is bold. They don't see a plan on the economy. They don't see a vision of the future. With Ron Paul, Rick Santorum, they at least have hope.
All right. Michelle Bachmann's out. Rick Perry indicated he might be out. He might be in. He's still in, but he's apparently not going to go to New Hampshire. John Huntsman agreed with me. If he doesn't win first or second in New Hampshire, he's out.
Absolutely.
How do you see this playing out as we get to South Carolina and Florida?
Well, I think we've got 2 basic scenarios. And you forgot Newt Gingrich, who I think will play in South Carolina.
Okay.
And from what he said last night, he's going to use his money, and a considerable amount of money, to try to harm the candidacy of Mitt Romney. So that leads to 2 scenarios. One is that Romney, notwithstanding all that, is able to run the table.
Right.
Unlikely. Or Ron Paul and Santorum do better, and we go through a long contest, which, as your interview with Ron Paul suggested, might well work to his advantage.
Might very well happen. Doug Schoen, it's a pleasure.
Judge, thank you.